Hello, and welcome to the BYU Family History Library webinar series. I'm Marin. I'll be your host for this webinar. Please make sure that your microphones and web cameras are disabled during the presentation to provide a smooth webinar. Our upcoming webinars are on May 23rd with Joe Price. He'll be giving a presentation entitled Tree Extending Hints. Following Joe, on the next Wednesday, we'll be having a presentation with Catherine Grant. She'll be giving a presentation entitled Web Indexing. This is an update to one of her previous videos. Catherine will be slowly updating some of her older videos. So make sure that you check us out on that Wednesday with Catherine Grant. If you'd like to access a previous webinar, please visit our webinar index page on our website or search on our YouTube channel. All of our webinars are recorded and uploaded the following Monday for your convenience. We also post links to recordings and other updates on our Facebook and Twitter accounts. During the webinar, if you have any technical difficulties, please use the chat box and I can address your concerns. You're welcome to use the chat box during the webinar for comments and insights. However, all questions will be addressed at the end of the presentation. For today's webinar, we're pleased to hear from Ann Tanner, who will be giving a presentation on what's new on the Family History Guide. Ann Westman Tanner was born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah, graduated from the University of Utah, and taught English for a few years. Ann and her husband, James, raised their children in Mesa, Arizona, then moved to Provo, Utah about 5 years ago. She has served in a family history library both in Mesa and now at BYU for about 8 years. She enjoys resolving family history problems on FamilySearch and adding new family members to the family tree. She serves on the board of the Family History Guide. So just 1 second while we get that presentation set up, and then we'll just turn the time over to Ann.
Welcome to the Family History Guide and Update. The website is the fhguide.com. Several years ago, as a missionary at the Family History Library at Brigham Young University, I was on the training committee to train new volunteers. We started creating a course of instruction to help the new volunteers become proficient in using FamilySearch Family Tree so they could improve their family history research and then be ready to help teach others. At the time, we became aware of the Family History Guide, and after carefully working through it, our question was, why should we reinvent the wheel? Look at this amazing resource to teach people how to use FamilySearch Family Tree. FamilySearch is a wonderful resource with millions, maybe billions of records, so you can research your family history. It's also a great resource for preserving memories, photos, stories, audio, and documents about your family, and being able to share them with other people so you don't have to duplicate research. With this in mind, we adopted the Family History Guide with all of these amazing resources as a structured learning program to train people on FamilySearch Family Tree. What is the Family History Guide? It is free. It is a structured learning, research, training, and activity center for family history. One of the frustrating things about technology is the frequent changes that are necessary as new resources become available. One of the good things about technology is the ability to make changes and updates to reflect current changes. How do you keep up with changes on FamilySearch? How do you keep up with new technology? How do you know about new resources? The Family History Guide was started with that in mind, to train and help people learn how to do FamilySearch Family Tree. Since then, it has expanded to be so much more, and we'd like to feature some of the new changes as well as highlight some of the standby advantages of the Family History Guide. Changes are made in the Family History Guide from time to time to keep up with new advances and new features. Let's look at the homepage of the Family History Guide right now. The website is thefhguide.com. On the homepage, you can see several things across the top of the menu bar. These are the main entry points into different areas of the website. The first thing you might notice is the Get Started videos. There's a quick tour, which is what the name suggests, and Get Started. Let's look at this. The question is asked, what would you like to do? Find your passion. Recognize what it is that you would like to learn about. Do you want to learn about family tree projects in FamilySearch, Ancestry, MyHeritage, or Find My Past? If that's what you want to do, you can click on any of these links to get started. How about wanting to connect with ancestors through photos and stories? You can click on these links for FamilySearch, Ancestry, MyHeritage, or Find My Past to learn about memories projects. Perhaps you want to do activities with your family. Click on any of these links to get started. And if you need help and more, these are also links that will help you to get going. Let's go back to the main page. 15 minutes are suggested little activities or things to read or look about that you can do when you have just a couple of minutes there to get you started. On the right, you will see some pictures. These are links to new features on the Family History Guide. These may change as new features are added. Currently is a link to FamilySearch, Family Tree, the mobile app for phones and tablets. This highlighted picture is Family Tree Memories, the app, and so these are the instructions for using that on your phone or your tablet. Again, FamilySearch, Tree, and Memories. The other two pictures refer to tracker reports and the Come Follow Me companion. These are family history activities that go along with the Come Follow Me course of study. Let's look at some of the other features on the home page. As we scroll down, we can see videos to watch and learn. These are on different topics. About the Family History Guide is a great one. It's less than 2 minutes. That will get you started with the guide. There's also project help, research, projects, activities, training and coaching, other videos that will help you get started with the different areas that you might want to learn. We have featured videos, and recent blog posts are the current updates and what's going on with the Family History Guide. So let's scroll back to the top, and now we are going to go across the top and look at several of the features. These 4 are actually learning paths for FamilySearch and for 3 of the partners to FamilySearch. That would be Ancestry, MyHeritage, and Find My Past. On FamilySearch, you can click on the first one to learn about Family Tree, on number 2 to learn about Memories. So let's start with Family Tree. We click here and we see that the project 1 is Family Tree. And then there are several goals. There is Navigate, and these are repeated across the top on this menu bar. You can learn to navigate the family tree, viewing details, children and spouses, find and recents, alternate views, change info, and so on. These are all getting started on the family tree. What I like to do when I'm using the Family History Guide and FamilySearch, or Ancestry, My Heritage, or Find My Past, is to have split screens with the Family History Guide on one side and FamilySearch, if that's what I'm learning to navigate, on the other side, so I can work in FamilySearch as I read how to do it in Family History Guide. As we scroll down, we can see different goals, and then under each goal are different choices. One of the features is to close the choices so you can see all of the areas that will be covered in this goal to navigate Family Tree. One of the nice advantages of the Family History Guide is you can start where you are deficient in knowledge or where you have questions, or if you're new to FamilySearch, you can start at the very beginning and work through it. Let me just mention the open choices and closed choices. Open choices will show all of the steps for each choice. There's also a brief summary that's very helpful that will tell you each of the areas that will be covered in this choice. The open choice and closed choice is also very useful if you are on a mobile app, as it compacts the choices into a smaller area for viewing. One of the new features that we've added are the Show Me videos. You can click on this and it will take you to a video that will go through each of the goals. So that's the way that the Family History Guide is organized. So let's go back up here to Family Tree and let's choose this time Memories. On FamilySearch, you can work through the different goals, how to gather your records, gather records from others, interview techniques, interviewing relatives, browse memories on FamilySearch Family Tree, preparing uploads. Let's look at this one. So this is Goal 5, to prepare uploads for memories on FamilySearch. Let's look at some of the choices. Determined photos and documents are good candidates, and it goes through the different qualities that would make you decide to put photos on or to not. Now, one of the things to note are the links to articles. If there's a page, little page icon like this, you can go to an article by clicking on this link, and it talks about adding memories for living persons. You also see these other letters here. This, if you click on the DE, that will be German, Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, and Japanese. So the same article is available in those different languages just by clicking on this link. Here's an article about copyright an old family photo. And here's information on scanning photos. We see here the video icon, and this will link to a Scanning Basics video that is 63 minutes long just by clicking on this link. Do you see how the Family History Guide is a wonderful source and resource that links to all sorts of other activities, articles, videos, and other websites even, where you can get the information and knowledge that you need to do family history. Here's a video on digital photography that's 57 minutes and another that's 32 minutes. So again, by scrolling through and working through each of these options and each of these goals, you can learn and become proficient or get questions answered about FamilySearch. The same is also true about Ancestry, My Heritage, and Find My Past. Two of the newer features on the Family History Guide are the instructions for the Family Tree app and the Memories app, which work on smartphones and tablets. Click on Family Search in the menu bar, then scroll down to the Family Tree app. Click on that, and it opens the instructions for the Family Tree app. The menu bar shows the different goals for the app: pedigree, person view, sources and record hints, search, historical records, map my ancestors, other tools, and settings. As you work through these goals, you can learn how to use the Family Tree app without asking your how to make it work. We can look smart. To access the instruction for the Memories app, again, click on Family Search and click on Memories app. Here you can see the goals for the Memories app, which include setup and photos, stories, documents, audio, albums, and settings. By working through the goals and choices, you can learn how to download and install the app, how to add, crop, and title a photo in Memories, how to tag a photo and attach it to Memories for a person in Family Tree, how to perform various acts for a photo, and to understand privacy rules for FamilySearch. Let's look, for example, at Choice D, perform various actions for a photo. By clicking on Summary, it tells us that we will learn how to share a Memories photo via text, Google Photos, Facebook, etc., how to download, convert to document, archive, or delete photos as needed. Then, by working through the numbered instructions, we can learn how to use the features of this app. Again, these are two great new features of the Family History Guide: FamilySearch, Family Tree app, and Memories app instructions. I've covered a lot of the things that I wanted to point out, so now let's look at some different areas across the header here. Trainers has a lot of information if you are doing training for other people, and this will be covered in another webinar. Activities is a very fun, fairly new section. These activities are anytime activities for family, a section on individuals, on youth, and on children. This little asterisk before the activity indicates that it is one that you can do anytime with very little preparation. There are others that would take more preparation to pull off, but these activities are marvelous. Here are some games like the Family History Fun Basket. Again, this has an asterisk, and so very little preparation is necessary. Recording and sharing stories, using Google Maps, and so on. There are, in addition to anytime activities, there are plan ahead activities, making family history, documenting the past, social media, service activities, activities for research, Latter-day Saint activities, and then the other categories are individuals, youth, and the kids' corner. So this is a brief overview of the activities section of the Family History Guide. There are amazing, very fun things that you can do to increase the activity level and to incorporate family history into your lives. The blog area has one of the fun things that I like is the blog, and by clicking on here I can subscribe to it, which I have done by just providing my email address. And every Monday I get an email with about 3 different articles that keep me up to date on new advancements or things that are important to know. Let's look at faiths. These are different faiths and how to do genealogy, family history in these different areas. And one of the things that we have added is Come Follow Me Companion. These are family history activities that are suitable to go along with your study of Come Follow Me. Now we get to the part that I absolutely love about the Family History Guide. Maybe you thought it was just learning how to do FamilySearch or Ancestry, MyHeritage, or Find My Past. But if you click on the countries, this is the research arm of the Family History Guide. And this will lead you into so many amazing resources. And they're all organized in centralized locations so that you can find things that will help you when you get stuck or when you need an idea to do research, or if you're just starting and you haven't a clue where to start, this will help you. Let's look through this. There are different areas of the world: North America, which includes the United States, Canada, and the Caribbean, Central America, Costa Rica, and Mexico. British Isles, which includes these additional areas. Scandinavia, which includes these 5 countries. Central Europe, which has these 8 different countries. Western and Southern Europe will include these countries: Belgium, France, Greece, Italy, Netherlands, Portugal, and Spain. Eastern Europe, South America, Asia, Pacific, Africa, and then there are countries and collections and ethnic groups. Now, how does this work? Let's say you need to do research in North America let's just choose Utah because that's where we are. All of these states are very complete. So I click on Utah and it brings up the different goals. If your goal is to do research in Utah, the first one will teach you about research and records. Learn about records and research. I'm going to close up these choices. So getting started. We can learn about archives and libraries, vital and census records, church and cemetery, immigration, military, probate, maps, newspapers, websites, search records, and get help. All of these about the selected state, in this case, Utah. But the same information is available for all 50 states that we talked about, Canada, and so on. If I want to go to vital and census records in Utah, I would click on that goal and learn about vital and census records. One of the things that we haven't talked about are these quick links. They have a little lightning symbol, and by clicking on these links, they will take me to records about Utah in FamilySearch, in Ancestry, in Find My Past, MyHeritage, and more. Also to different websites, US GenWeb and genealogy links. This is a quick way to get to different records without that are deal specifically about whatever state or country you are currently looking at. Let's learn about Utah vital and census records. And so here's information. There's a summary about different articles and different resources that will help you to learn about the vital records for Utah or for whichever state or country you are looking at. Here are birth and adoption records. I'm going to go ahead and close these choices so we can see them quickly. Utah marriage records, obituaries and death records, and census and voter records. So by clicking on any one of these projects, you can get directly to the resources. That's for the state. What about the counties in a state? We scroll down and it tells us about Utah counties. And it tells us that the name, if we click on the name, it will have a link to FamilySearch. If we click on A, it will have a link to Ancestry's records on the counties, the specific one that we click on. The same L is Linkpendium, a link to that, genealogy, and US GenWeb. So for example, let's say you need to do research in Morgan County. If you click on the name of the county, it will take you to resources, usually the FamilySearch Wiki, about that specific county in whatever state or country you are in. And it will get you started with the records that are available and all of these marvelous resources that are available on the FamilySearch Wiki. Let's close out of that and let's stick with Morgan County. Let's click on the L for Linkpendium. This is something that I was not very familiar with, but it is an amazing resource. So here's family history and genealogy and all sorts of different records about a specific county in Utah or whatever state you are doing research in. So here are projects. It will have a link to the GenWeb project, to the history group, to genealogy and history. It will show you the adjacent counties. It has links to histories, diaries, correspondence, and so on. It has a list of cemeteries, census and court records, estate records, history, all of these resources that I'm scrolling through very fast. I hope it doesn't make you nauseous. But anyway, the link to this link and this amazing resource you can find on the specific state and county page on the Family History Guide. So let's close out of that and go back here. Also, there are quick links down at the bottom of each, in this case, the county, and these are quick links directly to the Weber County marriages from 1887 to 1941. By clicking on this quick link, it will take me directly to that database where I can do a search for the people that I am looking for in that time frame. So again, the quick links, very, very valuable resource on the Family History Guide. Let's go back to the home page. I think that I have given you a good idea about what is available on the countries. Again, this covers all of the countries listed, certainly not all in the world, but a significant number to help you get started or to work through your research and wherever your ancestors are from. The other thing that I would like to click on is the knowledge base. I don't believe I talked about that. The knowledge base has tips, guidelines, definitions for family history research. And you can click on any topic on the black text to open contents. And so, for example, if you need to know about birth records, for example, I can click on About, and it will have information about birth records, when they started, what the availability is, and so on. If I click on Strategies, these will be reasons why you would and would not be able to find birth certificates. So again, this is a knowledge base, and a great amount of information is available in a concentrated place for you to find answers to questions that you may have. Okay, that was covering countries and the knowledge base. The vault has all sorts of extra articles, videos, different information about basics, family trees, memories, descendancy, basically all of the topics that are covered in the Family History Guide in the main body of the website. But these are additional ones that are very good, but we had to limit how many we could put on just for readability. So the vault are all the extra goodies. Tracker, I won't go into that, but this is a way for you to keep track of the progress that you or anybody you're teaching, keep track of the progress that they're making on learning about FamilySearch, Ancestry, MyHeritage, or Find My Past. There will be a separate webinar on this. And miscellaneous is what it says. There are quotes, there's events, merit badge, the genealogy merit badge, and so on. I've now covered many of the features of the Family History Guide, the new ones and the regular ones, but I would like to show how I could use the Family History Guide to solve questions. For example, let's take the question, I'm brand new to family history and I don't have a clue how to get started. So how would I use the Family History Guide to answer that question? We would go to the intro and we would possibly start on Family History Basics. Might be one place to start. And I can see here that here are many links that will help you learn and get prepared to work on family history. So why genealogy, family history terms and concepts, getting started, and additional resources. So each of these is a link, some to videos, some to articles that will help you if you are trying to get started in family history and didn't have a clue where to start. Okay, let's take another question. Suppose I have African American ancestry. Where would I look on the Family History Guide to get help? Let's go to countries, and down at the bottom is ethnic. I click on there, and here are ethnic groups. We have African American, Asian, Basque, Hispanic, Jewish, and Native American. So each of these will take us to a page on how to do research with that ethnic group. So in African American, we have Getting Started, Sources on Records, Library Resources with quick links to those resources, Slavery Resources, Breaking Through Barriers, and Getting Help. So I would start here with the African American research, and I would read these articles and watch the videos. There are also links to, for example, the Black Genealogy page on the accessgenealogy.com website. And here's African American family history step by step. So this would be a good place to start. Let's take another question. Suppose I want to do research in England, and if I've not done research in England, I would start with Goal 1 Research, and I would learn about doing research, getting started, what are the guidelines, how do I begin, tips for finding records. There are all sorts of links to different articles and videos that will help you to get going. There are vital records, civil registration, and many of these with the quick link symbol that will take you directly to the records that you may be looking for. But let's click on one of the goals. Let's go to church and cemetery records, and we can explore the cemetery records. Here's a video on nonconformist church records. and Catholic records in England. Let's go to a specific county or shire. Let's go to Devon. And we can see that for this county, there's a general goal to learn about research and records, then a goal on archives and libraries, vital and census. And I would like to click on this one and see some of the records that it will have me search as I'm doing research here. Here's an introduction to civil registration. And here's the Devon County Council site, the Gen-Uki UKI site, that's civil registration in Devon. Here's a Devon Family History site, Devon Registration Districts, and search for the free BMD, Birth, Marriage, Death, UK site for BMD records. So this leads me to lots of different sources that I can use to look for my ancestors who may have lived in Devon. The next goal are the census records. And so here's an introduction. Here's a surname index and other sites that will take me to the census records. So that is a way that the Family History Guide will help you with with research in a specific country or state. Now let's talk about DNA. What if I don't know much about DNA? I've had a DNA test done and I need to find out more about it. Let's go to FamilySearch and click on DNA. And here are goals that I can learn about basic genetics and DNA research. Here's our introductions, genetics and genealogy, 2 different articles. Here's a video for beginners, genetic genealogy for beginners. Here is an article on chromosomes and inheritance on the University of Utah website, and more. Let's keep scrolling down, learn more about DNA research, and it leads us down here. Number 2 is explore the ISOG, International Society of Genetic Genealogists website. And so here we have the link to this website that will give you more information than maybe you wanted to know. Maybe this is exactly what you need to know to fill out your knowledge about DNA. Let's talk about, let's say you have a question about Catholic ancestry. How do you do research and find records for Catholics? So let's click on, under faiths, we click on Catholic Family History. And here are the resources to help you to get started with it, to learn what's available, what you need to know, and the research. There are many different articles and that will help you. For example, here's one, Explore the Catholic News Archive site. Who would even guess that there was such a thing? But here on the Family History Guide, it will lead you as you do a systematic search and learning on whatever area that you need to do research in. It may lead you to the links that will help you to solve a problem or to find those ancestors. Okay, let's say that you like to do indexing. You know what indexing is, right? That's where you read the original records and transcribe them, so then they are searchable and findable by computer and make it easier for people to find. To learn about indexing, we click on FamilySearch and on number 5, indexing. Here's about learning about it, getting started, doing a batch, improving your skills, reading difficult handwriting, and other resources. This would help you to get started with indexing should you want to do that. There was one time I was searching and for a youth conference, and I found a link from the Family History Guide to a complete youth conference plan. Who knows what you'll find in this amazing resource. What if you have to teach a class? I won't go into that because we're going to have another webinar, as I've already mentioned, but this is the trainers section, and there are many catalogs. There are PowerPoints that are available ready for you to teach, and it will help you to teach and to track the teaching. And then the last question, what if I want to get my grandchildren involved? How can I do that? And I've already mentioned this, but let's go through it a little bit more. We go to activities, and we would go to family. And as you scroll through these activities, you realize there are ones that you can do instantly with little preparation. There are plan ahead activities such as making videos. You can make family history. You can document the past. There are social media activities outlined. There are service activities and activities for research and Latter-day Saint activities. So let's just scroll through a few of these. This is on the family part, but here are recreating childhood photos. Might be a fun thing to do. Home movie. Make a movie about life as you know it now. How about a game of Jeopardy? This one takes little preparation, and this is from the BYU Technology Lab. And it's a fun game. It's like classic trivia game. It can be played alone or in teams, and will maybe get your family interested in family history. There's Ancestor Fun Basket, outdoor family history games, and activity time fillers. If you have 20 questions to discover who you're thinking of, and so on. Those are just some of the ways that you can use the Family History Guide to find activities, to find information, to get started, to pretty much answer all sorts of questions or point you in the direction that you need to go. I might point out that there is a search tab on every page, and you can do a search. So if you need to, for example, let's say Jewish, you can just type in the search term, and then it will show you all of the places on the Family History Guide where it talks about doing research, Jewish research. And you'll note that on this one there are many pages. So there are all sorts of resources in addition to the one. But the search field is very powerful and very useful for finding something on the Family History Guide. So thanks for watching this updated video on the Family History Guide, and we hope that it's useful and beneficial to you as you discover and explore this vast repository of links and information about family history.
All right, we'll just set up the question and answer portion. If you could just wait just a moment, we'll get that set up for you. All right, you can go ahead and type your questions in. We have the Family History Guide website set up in case you need a show and tell. And Anne is right here, so she can help you out and answer those questions. All right, it looks like we do have a couple of questions. We have one from George. He asks, how is the research knowledge base differ from the FamilySearch Wiki?
Okay, the FamilySearch Wiki is maintained by FamilySearch, and they gather together general information and knowledge about all of the different topics. I forget how many thousands of wiki pages there are. And so the Family History Guide links to the FamilySearch Wiki. The research knowledge base that we have on the Family History Guide is a brief set of information. Okay, it's a brief set of information that we have put together that will just give you an information definitions for family history research. It doesn't really have links to a lot of information like the research wiki would have.
All right, our next question is, how do you keep all of the information current?
We have Bob Taylor, who is amazing. We have a lot of eyes and ears out there, and when we notice changes or we receive notice about FamilySearch, then changes are made to the wiki. They're made usually instantly within days of finding new information. When we get information about all of the new databases that are all of the new sources that have been added on FamilySearch, we go ahead and add all of those as quick links as soon as we are available with them. So we have lots of eyes and ears out there, and it's just something that we are dedicated to and work on constantly.
All right, thank you, Anne. I think that's all the questions we have for now. I'm just going to move over to the closing announcements. Next week, we will be having a presentation with Joe Price. That'll be the 23rd of May, Thursday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. Following that, we will have a webinar on the 29th of May. That'll be a Wednesday with Catherine Grant. A recording of this webinar will be made available on our YouTube page and our website. You always can contact us with comments, suggestions, or questions at fhl_webinars@byu.edu. Our website is going through a couple of changes. We are going to be changing our URL for our website, so it's a little bit easier to remember. However, if you do have the sites.lib.byu.edu/familyhistory/ the really long version, if you type that in or have that bookmarked, it will bring you to the correct spot. It'll redirect you to the new URL. Don't have the URL name off the top of my head, but once we get that all smoothed out, I will be able to read out the website for you each webinar announcement section. I think that's everything. If you need updates of when our recordings are coming out or new schedules or new changes, you can always catch us on our Twitter, on our Facebook, and I post those updates on YouTube as well. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and thank you so much for watching.